MJZ Comics is back. New releases for April 19th. Let's start the show. Welcome back to another episode of Speculation Sunday. This week we're going to talk about books coming out on April 19th. First book is Warlock, Rebirth, #1. Now this is the first appearance of Eve Warlock, an enemy from Adam Warlock's past, described as the next step in evolution. I did some research on this book. It says Adam Warlock was created to be the perfect human specimen. Since then, Adam has gone on to be a cosmic savior, defending the galaxy from the likes of Thanos, the Universal Church of Truth, and the Magus. But what will happen when the next evolution of Warlock emerges? Someone who is stronger, faster, and smarter than Adam. Don't miss this untold story of Adam Warlock that will introduce a new character that will forever impact Warlock's legacy. So great looking book here. There are a few variants as usual. If you watched our previous videos, it looks like another Alex Ross variant. This time a sketch of Thanos, which looks incredible. This one's going to be a little bit pricey, probably 50 bucks, maybe more. Multiple variants available as usual. And I'm looking specifically at the Thiago da Silva variant. It has what appears to be a female looking Adam Warlock. I believe this is Eve Warlock on the cover. So this is going to be the money book, as we call it. I think this is the best looking cover, and from what I can see, it's probably the only one that features Eve Warlock. So this is the one to get, Thiago da Silva variant of Warlock Rebirth #1. Let me know in the comments if you think that's the new character, Eve Warlock. Do us a favor and check out last week's video, and if you like our Speculation Sunday videos, please like and subscribe, and continue to follow us for new videos every Sunday where we go over the new releases that are coming out for New Comic Book Day. Books that we think are hot that you should consider picking up. The second book on our list is Superboy, the Man of Tomorrow, #1. This is the first cameo team appearance of the Cosmeteers. And I did a little research on this book. It says, Connor Kent takes center stage. After the events of Dark Crisis, Connor feels out of place with the rest of the hero community. He doesn't fit in with the rest of the Superman family, and the rest of the world doesn't really need him with so many supers in Metropolis. He doesn't want to rely on Tim, Cassie, and Bart, so Connor looks to the stars as a place he might be able to call his own and carve out his own path. But what lurks in the great unknown? Are bravado and swagger enough to help Superboy find his new calling? So I took a look at this book here. Cool cover with Superboy on the cover, and I'm looking at the variants here. Nothing that special here. 1 in 25, 1 in 50, featuring different variations of Superboy. However, I will note in issue 2, it looks like Connor Kent is going to be possibly captured by the Cosmeteers, so this might be a pretty good storyline. Issue 2 might be something to look at as well. Once again, a couple of variants for this book. First cameo team appearance of the Cosmeteers. Key issue for DC, The Man of Tomorrow, #1. And the last new release for April 19th is Chilling Adventures presents The Cult of That Wilkin Boy #1. Now this was kind of a smaller week, only a couple big keys that I really think were worth looking into, but this book here, Chilling Adventures presents The Cult of That Wilkin Boy #1, one-shot psychological thriller about a musician who is a master of manipulation with fans and followers, willing to do his bidding no matter how evil it may be. I thought this was kind of a interesting storyline, maybe an interesting one-shot to read. Not necessarily a key issue, but once again, something I think might be worth buying for cover price. A good read. Once again, kind of a small week, only a few books, so let's get to the long box edition where we go over some back issues, books that we think you can find at comic book stores, maybe in a flea market, antique store, garage sale. Some books that necessarily aren't hot, but maybe some books that we think have the potential to heat up in the near future. First book is The Terrifics #1 from 2018. Now this is a multi-first appearance. First team appearance of the Terrifics, Mr. Terrific, Metamorpho, Plastic Man, and Phantom Girl. And the reason we're recommending this book is obviously it's DC related. Looks like all the characters are on the cover, which is always a plus. And this is a quadruple threat. 4 first appearances, the team of the Terrifics, a book we think is worth looking at. Now this is not an expensive book. It looks like you can get a raw copy for under $20. I think even less in a mid-grade. So keep your eyes out for this one, The Terrifics #1. And the next book is Booster Gold #1 from February of 1986. Now, this is another DC book that I think is worth looking into. James Gunn has hinted at this character Now this book is the first appearance of Booster Gold, first appearance of Skeets, who is the robot sidekick of Booster Gold, first appearance of Blackguard, and the first appearance of Trixie Collins, who later becomes Gold Star. Now with the new DC Universe moving forward with James Gunn, there are speculation, I believe even plans for a Booster Gold TV series about a loser from the future who returns to the past to pretend to be a superhero, and it looks like that might be planned for HBO Max, so keep an eye out for this one. Booster Gold #1, he's on the cover, great DC key. This one's a little bit more expensive. In a high grade, you're probably looking for maybe close to $100. In the mid grade, hopefully you can find a great copy for $30, $50. So once again, keep your eyes out for this book, Booster Gold #1 at your local shows, flea markets. You might be able to find this one in a long box for a deal, Booster Gold #1. Now, since this was kind of a short week, I did want to talk a little bit about the market. We've had some requests in our comments about how the comic book market is doing. I will say the prices of comics have gone down, obviously, over the last year and a half. If you look at other investments, collectibles such as your stocks, we'll throw comic books in there. If you look at luxury watches, everything seems to have come down anywhere from like 30 up to 50%. That's kind of what we're looking at as far as comic book prices. About a year and a half to 2 years ago during the comic boom, Hulk 181, if you took a 9.2 grade, that was near $20,000 in a 9.2. And currently a 9.2 is in the 9,000. So that's gone down approximately 50%, a little bit more than 50%. And you can kind of say the same thing with the X-Men books. X-Men #1, if you looked at like a 4.5, that was touching $20,000 as well a year and a half, 2 years ago. Now that X-Men 1 4.5, it's around 10 to 11,000. So it's gone down 50%. So you can kind of see the trend here. Books have definitely fallen quite a bit, 30, 40, 50%. If you have one of these books that you've taken a loss on, I talked to a good friend of mine, Randy from DNA Comics on Instagram. Great place to buy, sell, and trade comic books. Make sure you check that out. If you're holding a book right now, an idea we've been kind of flirting with is to sell the book and then possibly rebuy it later at a cheaper price. I think books are still falling. I think for the next 6 months or so, or maybe the rest of this year, 2023, I think comic book prices are going to slowly dip down a little bit more, maybe 10 or 15%. So you might have a chance to sell the book now and perhaps rebuy it later at 10 or even 20% lower. So that's something to definitely consider. If you watched our previous videos, we talked about Giant Size X-Men #1 and a 9.8. That at the highest was around $72,000 in a 9.8. That's come down. It's about, I think the average price on GPA is approximately $33,000. I've seen some go a little higher, a little bit lower. Once again, that's over 50%, but that one was massively inflated. That $72,000, I think, was an outlier. The average sales when it was at its height was $50s, even $60,000. So once again, a 40 to 50% decrease since the comic boom. And you really see that across the board as far as all comic books. And once again, like I said, this isn't just comics. This is a lot of collectibles investments. You look at luxury watches, Rolex GMTs, the Batmans, the Pepsis, those were $20,000, $25,000. I think a Pepsi might have been hitting $30,000. Those have come down. They're like in the high teens. I think the Pepsi might be around 20K, but the Batman, the black and blue GMT, that's like 17, 18 grand. So that's definitely come down 30, 40% from what it was during the height of the economy. So this is definitely, here at MJZ, we still think it's a great time to buy if you got the cash, because you can definitely get some great prices, especially at auctions. And that's kind of what I want to focus on here. You got to look at the auction prices, because prices in comics are very volatile right now. You can't necessarily go by the last sale or the average sale or GPA. So if you look at the prices amongst all grades, they are all over the place. You might get a sale for $10,000 and the next day an auction for $8,000. So you kind of got to have to watch all these auctions to really find a great price. You want to watch multiple auctions on the books that you're interested in and keep an eye on that price to when the auction ends. You might want to throw a lowball bid and you might steal that book. That's what I'm recommending right now if you decide to pull a trigger on a big book, a grail book, one of the keys that you've been lusting after for years and years and years. Check out the auctions on the big sites, Comic Link, Comic Connect, eBay, and throw in a lowball offer on one of those books. You might just get lucky and you might just steal it. That's how I would go about buying big books right now. Because right now the buy it now prices, these sellers are still asking prices from 2021 way too high. In this market right now, you've got to get what the book's going for or even less. If the book's selling for $10,000, I would try to get it for $8,500 or $9,000. A lot of people are willing to deal, willing to sell. If you're going to a Comic-Con or a local show, bring cash with you. Cash is the way to deal. Now that's the way it was before. I think you'll even have a stronger negotiating position with cash in today's economy. So once again, market recap. Books are definitely fallen from a year or two ago. That's obvious. Same with all investments, all collectibles. And from what I can see, approximately 30, 40, up to 50% on some books. Now, a few of the books that I think that are maybe still immune or have been doing well are obviously the high-grade silver and gold age. I'm talking your Amazing Fantasy 15s and the 8 and 9s. You know, your Golden Age Batmans that are 7, 8, 9, something that's just already extremely expensive, extremely hard to get. Those are out of the price range for most individuals. But once again, these Bronze and Silver Age keys, even modern keys, if you're keeping an eye on it, check the auction sites. That's where you're going to get the great deal. And if you got expendable income, now is the time to buy more so than ever. Keep that cash handy because I think coming up this summer in the next 3 to 6 months, I think prices might soften even a bit more, maybe 10, 15% more. Once again, something to consider. You can sell the big books that you have, maybe rebuy them at a cheaper price. You got a little bit of cash on the side. Something I've done myself is sell some of the books and then try to buy them at a lower price. I hope this little market analysis helps you guys that are going after your keys and your grails. Once again, make sure you check out the auctions. Make sure to check out our Speculation Sunday videos that come out every Sunday. New books that are coming out on Wednesday, new comic book day, books that we think are worth looking into. First appearances, number ones, books that have the potential to go up in price that you can possibly sell and use that to build your collection. Please like and subscribe. MJZ out.